The New York Islanders are the most boring franchise in the NHL, but all of that is going to change today. Not only are they going to be selecting Matthew Schaefer first overall in the NHL draft, but I am going to be spinning the wheel every single season we do not win the Stanley Cup until the Stanley Cup returns to Long Island. We got Barzal and Horvat as a 1-2 center punch, both being an 87 overall piece. Anthony Duclair in the first line at an 83. The offense is almost non-existent. Defensively, I guess we're a little bit better with Pelech, Dobson, and Pulak, 87, 88, and an 87. Alexander Romanov is on the squad, but even that D-core is not even that elite. But luckily, we got Ilya Sorokin at a 90 overall between the pipes. Definitely our best player, so we are going to have to go ahead and build around him to try to build this team into a Stanley Cup contender. This video is not going to end until the New York Islanders are crowned as Stanley Cup champions. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and let's try to win the most boring franchise in the NHL, a goddamn Stanley Cup. A pretty mid record overall, 40, 34, and 8, 88 points. We somehow actually snuck into the postseason as a wildcard position. Washington was the best team in our division, and for the entire NHL, it would be the Edmonton Oilers with 56 wins. Toronto, Boston, Washington, and Winnipeg were all in the top 5. I mean, talk about an offensive juggernaut. Matt Barzal with the season of all seasons, 20 goals, 63 points, and a -4. Duclair had 60. Bo Horvat was not even good himself. Paul Mary had 53 and 24 goals. We got a lot of work to do offensively, but defensively and in goal, even Ilya Sorokin didn't have a great season. Only a .904 save percentage with 1 shutout. Do not worry, do not fear. Lepeka Pasta will find you help. We got Austin Matthews leading the NHL in scoring at 114 points, and David Pastrnak had the most goals at 65. Again, I don't really know how we made the postseason. Nonetheless, we got the Toronto Maple Leafs in round number 1. I don't think this team is good enough to go all the way, but you never know with EA Sim Engine. Wasn't a great series as expected. We ended up losing in 6 games to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Couldn't even get it to a game 7, but nonetheless, the real work will now begin. This is not even a playoff run. I mean, we had a point per game player, actually 2 point per game players on our team. Anthony Duclair with 2 goals and 4 apples. Barzal had 5 points. Pageau only 3. Offensively, we really got to get some studs out there. And Ilya Sorokin, he was solid. Offensively, we really got to get some studs on our roster. I mean, Ilya Sorokin, he was decent. A .919 save percentage, no shutouts, and of course, a first-round exit. As the Edmonton Oilers get revenge over 2006 and beat the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 7 to win the Stanley Cup. We are finally allowed to hit the wheel, spin it, and whatever team we land on, I am allowed to choose one player from that franchise, starting off with the Boston Bruins. I can't even lie, this is a fairly easy one. David Pastrnak is a 96 overall and simulates like a god sometimes, so welcome to Long Island. Quite literally, Pasta is the only elite forward that we have in this group, a 96 overall. That actually might help out Matt Barzal and Anthony Duclair in the first line, as we now have a legit number 1 guy that can put up a boatload of points. Honestly, we did have a pretty big jump from last season. 49, 24, and 9 was our record. 107 points, now second in the Metropolitan Division. I'm not saying we're a legit contender yet, but I mean, we are a top 4 team in the entire NHL, I'm not saying that we are a championship contender yet, but we are a top 4 team in the NHL. Only Washington, Dallas, and Tampa Bay play better than us this season. So let's throw the strap-ons on, let's lock in, get loaded, and try to win a Stanley Cup for the city of New York. Yeah, this pretty much checks out. David Pastrnak, our only elite player, 53 goals, 100 points, and a bunch of bums surrounding him that honestly are just here for the ride. Thank you, Pasta, for carrying us offensively, and thank you, Ilya Sorokin, for posting a .912 save percentage, as well as 4 shutouts and 40 wins on the season. Pastrnak will not be the lucky one. Braden Point outscored him by like 23. We got the most goals in the NHL, also to Braden Point. The most underrated player in the entire hockey league right now is none other than this guy. He had like a 50-goal season 2 years ago. He's always clutch. He's got 2 cups. He was big in those 2 cup runs way back in 20 and 21, and yet still nobody talks about this man. Goaltending-wise, I don't think Sorokin's going to be up here. Hellebuck had the most wins at at 42. The most shutouts would end up going to Stuart Foreskin Skinner, 9 on the season. Atta boy, Skin Dog. In the first round, we are going to play the Carolina Hurricanes this time. Again, they're probably a superior team than us still, but we are making steps in the right direction, and hopefully we can win a Stanley Cup eventually. Things are not starting out too hot. Down 0-2 right off the rib. Down 0-3 on the verge of being swept in the very first round, and that is exactly what will happen to the New York Islanders. Well, this is what happens when David Pastrnak gets completely shut down. 1 goal, 3 points, a -4 in 4 games. We don't have the surrounding talent around him to be able to compete if he does not show up and does not play like a legit superstar. And oh my, Ilya Sorokin, an .872 save percentage. Shout out to the Winnipeg Jets finally getting it done. Even with playoff hellebuyck, they will beat the Florida Panthers in Game 7 of the Cup Finals. It is going to be a clean sweep by Braden Point on the individual awards. We got Adam Fox taking home the Norris. Josh Morrissey is your Conn Smythe winner. Joey Decord's going to win the Vezina, and McDavid the Selke. As we spin the wheel for the second time, hoping to land a legit superstar just like David Pastrnak, and we're going to be able to choose from none other than the reigning defending champs in the Florida Panthers. I cannot even lie. A 96 overall Sasha Barkov sounds absolutely sweet to play alongside David Pastrnak on that first line. So Sasha, welcome to the Islanders, and hopefully welcome to eventually a Stanley Cup contender. Slowly but surely, we are building a roster around David Pastrnak, Sasha Barkov, and Ilya Sorokin. Slowly but surely, we are building a championship contending roster surrounding Pastrnak, Sasha Barkov, and of course Ilya Sorokin. 296 overalls and a 90 starting goaltender. Yet again, we are going to have a pretty decent season. 44 wins, 34 losses, 4 in overtime for 92 points. Second in our division, Washington again is dominating the Metro right now, which is honestly pretty weak overall. The Tampa Bay Lightning, damn near 160 games. Yet again, they were the best team in the NHL, followed by Colorado, Winnipeg, Toronto, and the St. Louis Blues in the top 5 of the league. What alternate reality are we living in right now? What alternate reality are we living in right now? David Pastrnak, I guess, is going to have to share the puck a little bit more. He didn't pot 100 points, only 97, also at 55 goals, so that man was sniping them things. Sasha Barkov was solid with 95. Bo Horvat had 74. Barzal is going to take a back seat now that we have a true #1 center. And for Ilya Sorokin, dear God, I don't even want to look at these stats, man. An .895 save percentage for 67 games. Nikita Kucherov's going to lead the NHL in scoring, points at 111, and the most goals in the NHL, that would go to New York's very own David Pastrnak, who had 55 on the year. We got the Carolina Hurricanes in round #1, so we're going to see what we can do there, and hopefully we can actually win a playoff series and advance to round #2. We got to start making some progress here, start getting a little bit closer to our eventual goal, which is a Stanley Cup, obviously. I am praying that things go a little bit better. We got swept last season. We're going to lose the first 2 games. Oh my God, are we going to get swept for the second season in a row? Dear God, New York, what is going on? Again, if you want to make a list of bums, here we go. Pretty much nobody played great. Everybody was a minus, and we were completely terrible getting swept for the second season in a row. Ilya, I don't know how it could get worse, buddy. An .859 save percentage as a 90 overall elite goaltender. Everybody is shocked, and everybody is so happy to see the Tampa Bay Lightning dominate again. The Stars, they got beat out in a gentleman's sweep just like they did in real life, but this time in the Cup Finals. Nikita Kucherov will win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Maurice Richard will go to David Pastrnak. Makar is going to take home the Norris. Cooch with the Conn Smythe. Binnington the Vezina. And Sasha Barkov from the New York Islanders will win the Selke Trophy. I'm not even gonna lie, we could definitely be here for a while. We definitely gotta add way more talent to this roster, starting again with the Boston Bruins, which was our first pick. I would literally be the biggest fool of all time if I did not take Charlie McAvoy, the only 90 overall player still left on the Boston Bruins. I know it's a defenseman, we need offense, but we need a guy like Charlie at a 90 to help us sim a little bit better, especially in the playoffs. We got McAvoy now instantly becoming our best defenseman. I think I'm gonna throw up Noah Dobson on that top pairing with McAvoy, and then we'll go Romanov and Pelech. Or actually, no, we can go Pulak and Pelech, and then Romanov and Pranofovic. Absolutely butchered that goddamn name. I honestly don't even know how to classify this season. 43, 34, and 5 was our record. We had 91 points, 4th in our division. Not really the best season out of the New York Islanders. The Devils won 50 games and won our division, and and Tampa Bay looks like they're going to win another Stanley Cup. Sasha Barkov, our lone 100-point player on our team, 30 goals, 70 apples, looking like McDavid in 16-17. David Pastrnak had 96, Bo Horvat with 74, and oh my god, zero offensive support surrounding them. And even a guy like Ilya Sorokin wasn't good enough. Only a .905 save percentage, 2 shutouts, 36 wins. Nikita Kucherov, dear god, dominating 144 points, the most in the NHL, and Braden Point is going to have the most goals at 59. The Lightning, they are an absolute wagon right now. Devils, Islanders, round number 1, book it. We're not getting swept this season. Honestly, we might end up doing that again. Wait a minute. I just realized if we get swept again in the first round, then we would be on the verge of getting swept in the sweeps of the first round. That would be 4 sweeps in a row, potentially heading into next season. This would only be the 3rd, but still, that puts us on the ropes. You know, I'm just trying to be a nice guy. The New York Islanders got the first pick today. They're going to take Matthew Schaefer. I'm just overall, oh my god, we got swept again. Why do I even bother looking at the individual numbers? Nobody played well. Pastrnak was a point-per-game player, over point-per-game with 2 goals and 5 points. Sasha Barkov had 4, and the list of bandits surrounding them were absolute bums. Ilya Sorokin, oh my god, it just keeps getting worse. His save percentage goes down year by year. Am I seeing things correctly, or is that Winnipeg's 2nd Stanley Cup of this video? They beat Washington in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Nikita Kucherov again will win the Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Braden Point, the Maurice Richard, Makar with another Norris, Josh Morrissey with another Conn Smythe. We got Jacob Markstrom as the Vezina and Barkov with the Selke. Can we please just get some offensive support surrounding Pastrnak and Barkov on the New York Islanders? Oh no, Edmonton. No, we were so close to getting Connor McDavid. Instead, we got to choose again from the Florida Panthers. Just depleting other hockey teams is what I do best. Matthew Tkachuk at a 93 overall will add to the New York Islanders. I almost went with Sam Reinhart, but I feel like a power forward on that first line with a two-way and a sniper would definitely bode very well. Now we can legitimately say that we have one of, if not the best first line in all of hockey with Tkachuk, Barkov, and Pastrnak, a 96, 96, and 93. Would you look at that? The top of the division is owned by the New York Islanders. 50, 27, and 5 was our record. Things are finally turning around for the Islanders. Still, though, only the 4th best team in the league behind Florida, Tampa Bay, and Winnipeg, who seems to be a juggernaut in this simulation. Pasta was our best player, 52 goals, 105 points. Tkachuk had 95, Barkov with 90 as our first line definitely carried the offensive load. And Ilya Sorokin finally had some good numbers, a 915 save percentage, 40 wins, 1 shutout is what it is. We got Mitchell Marner leading the NHL in scoring with 113 points. I'm not gonna lie, he goes to the Carolina Hurricanes and does this next season. It is going to be so sweet for not only the rest of the league, but also the Maple Leafs. As speaking of Leafs, Austin Tomiak Matthews will have the most goals at 55. Pastrnak damn near caught him with 52, only 3 behind, as it is going to be a very tough matchup up against the Washington Capitals in round number 1. Just in case you guys have a memory of a snail, I'm gonna let you know what is at stake here. We could be getting a potential, never mind, we won game number 1. It will not be 4 sweeps in a row. We are actually leading 3-1 over the Capitals, trying to close them out. We couldn't do it in 5. Can we do it in 6? Yes, we can. After a 2-1 victory, finally we get a playoff series win as we now move on and face the New York Rangers in round number 2. Obviously, we are a team of gentlemen, so we gentlemen swept them in round number 2, and now the Tampa Bay Lightning in the conference finals. We end up splitting the first 2 games. We win game number 3. Can we win game number 4? Yes, we do. 1 win away from the Stanley Cup finals, and we have advanced. The Islanders, the Jets, 7 games for Lord Stanley. The Winnipeg Jets trying to go on their 3rd cup of the video, and New York obviously just trying to get their first one. We are going to take this game by game. First period, game 1, we take the lead. David Pastrnak gets us on the board. Second period, Winnipeg will tie it up. We are headed to overtime where the Jets, Vladimir Nemestikov will score on Sorokin and win game number 1. We are on the road. We do not have home ice advantage. Let's just try to get a split here. First period, 1-1 tie. Second period, 2-1 lead for Winnipeg. And the Jets are going to go up 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Honestly, maybe the quick sim is working better than the real-time sim. First period, Winnipeg dominating again. They are leading 2-1 entering the 3rd. And again, for the 3rd consecutive game, we are going to lose 3-2 in the Cup Finals. I thought the days of us getting swept were far far long gone, but I guess not. We're going to go back to the real-time sim. We win game number 4. Can we win game number 5? No, we do not, as we lose in 5 games in the Cup Finals to the Winnipeg Jets. I feel like maybe if I didn't hop in and actually see the real-time sim, we might have honestly won the Stanley Cup. Pasta was very good, 29 points, 11 goals. Barkov, he had 13 and 25. Tkachuk was very good. Bo Horvat chipped in. Charlie McAvoy did what he had to. And Ilya Sorokin rocked a 923 throughout the entirety of the postseason, so I cannot complain. Brad Marchand is going to win the Ted Lindsay somehow. Hart will go to Marner, as well as the Art Ross. Norris to Cale Makar. Josh Morrissey with his 3rd Conn Smythe. Vasi's going to win the Vezina, and Barkov the Selke. Well, back to my favorite position of all time, the wheel, baby. We are spinning it yet again, and this time we are going to land on, oh no, the San Jose Sharks. I mean, Macklin Celebrini is the only realistic option and the best option to take from San Jose. Funny enough, he will slot in nicely as our second-line center at an 88 overall. Barzal and Horvat, 2 other centermen, will play alongside Macklin as we now have an elite top 6 forward core. Unbelievable. Back-to-back 50-win seasons for the Islanders, 25 regulation losses, 7 in overtime for 107 points. Again, a top 5 team in the league. We're not the best, but we are most definitely getting there. I don't know if Tampa Bay is ever going to move off of that top spot. We get 2 guys tying for the most points on our team in Barkov and Pasta, both having 117 apiece and both being 50-goal scorers. Pasternak with 59, Barkov with 52, Tkachuk had 114 points, so our top line is absolutely lethal. The New York Islanders fan base hasn't seen offense like this since the goddamn 80s, and a legit #1 goaltender between the pipes. Again, Braden Point, maybe the best player in the league, led the league in scoring with 122, and on the goal side, that would go to David Pasternak of the New York Islanders, who had 59 on the season. As we have to play the Florida Panthers in round number 1, we took 2 of their best players. We should beat their team. If we end up losing, honestly, there might be no hope for the New York Islanders. I also do believe I'm going to stick to the quick sim now, because that was working a hell of a lot better than the real time did in the Cup Finals. Although we are down 3-1 to the Florida Panthers in the very first round, and they gentlemen sweep us. No Barkov, no Tkachuk, no problem. I mean, to be honest, what is there even to recap? Nobody was good, nobody tried, and nobody cared. I guess on the bright side, I get to see my Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup. They beat New Jersey in 6 games in the finals. Sasha Barkov will win the Ted Lindsay. David Pasternak, the Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy will go to Braden Point. Makar is going to win the Norris. McDavid with the Conn Smythe. Bob is going to win the Vezina, and Barkov, of course, the Selke. I really have no idea what's it going to take to win a Stanley Cup with the New York Islanders, but choosing from the Pittsburgh Penguins, please, yes, we get to choose from the old retirement community home that is the Pittsburgh Penguins. By far the easiest decision of this video, Sid the Kid Crosby coming to Long Island, although I'm not too sure how happy he is in doing so. I'm honestly very confused. I don't know whether to put Crosby or Barkov on that top line. You know what, Sid? You deserve that respect. You're going to play alongside Pasta and Tkachuk, and then we got Celebrini, Barkov, Barzal. Finally, this forward core is actually looking elite, more than elite. This is good enough to win a Stanley Cup. There's no excuse now. This team is complete. This team is built. I believe we should go on and win the cup literally this season. I think I would be pretty crazy not to put the captaincy on Crosby as well. So Andres Lee, no thank you. Welcome in, Sid. I believe this is actually our best season of the entire video. 52, 29, and 1 with 105 points. Still not good enough to be the best in our division, as Washington ended up having 1 more point than us. Top 4 team in the NHL, and we should, at least one of these seasons, go all the way and win the Stanley Cup. No excuse whatsoever when we have all this offense on our team. Pasta was the best at 105. Sid had 102 points as a 37-year-old. Tkachuk with 97. Barkov definitely now as a second-line center is going to take a little bit of a backseat offensively, but defensively, he's still very good. Celebrini had 64, and for Ilya Sorokin, if we take a look, I mean, only a 908, but he did have 4 shutouts. We got the Carolina Hurricanes in round number 1 yet again. I believe the last 2 times we played them, we got swept, so let's show them how the new and improved New York Islanders look like. Here is a crazy thought. Maybe the Carolina Hurricanes actually just have our number. Oh, wait a minute. We are forcing a Game 7. I believe the first Game 7 we have played in throughout the entirety of the video. First period, 2-0 lead. Second period, they cut it in half. But luckily, the New York Islanders will prevail. They will hold on, and they will move on to the second round of the postseason. We are now going to play the Washington Capitals. We end up winning the first 3 hockey games, put them on the verge of being swept, as that is exactly what happened. Detroit Red Wings in the Eastern Conference Finals. Definitely did not expect to see them them here. I don't think they deserve to be here as they're down 3-0. They got swept as well. It will be none other than the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm doing the quick sim. Screw actually going the okay. It didn't even matter. We're down 3-0 yet again. What is going on? Oh my God. The New York Islanders got swept in the Stanley Cup Finals. All right, no time to waste. We are hopping back on the wheel. We are going to spin it, and the team that we will land on is none other than the team that literally just beat us in the Cup Finals in the Dallas Stars. The Moose is officially loose in Long Island as he will be joining the New York Islanders in forming a super team in the National Hockey League. I mean, if this team doesn't win the Stanley Cup, what are we doing here? Rantanen, Crosby, Pasta, we got Tkachuk alongside Barkov and Celebrini, and then Andres Lee, Bo Horvat, and Matt Barzal. As our top 9, that is by far and away the best in the entire league. Obviously, now we are at a point where the regular season does not even matter. We're going to be a good team regardless. We're always going to make the playoffs. And finally, for the first time in the video, we won the President's Trophy 52, 24, and 6. It seems like it's a more balanced, steady attack. Mikko Rantanen with 96. We got Pasta with 91. Crosby had 87. Barkov 85. So maybe the offense is a little more evenly spread out. And for Ilya Sorokin, probably the best team he's ever played behind. A 913 save percentage, 4 shutouts, and a 42, 19, and 6 record. We got Le Montreal in round number 1. Hopefully, we can steamroll our way to another Stanley Cup final and rewrite the wrong that was last season. Domination from the New York Islanders, a gentleman's sweep against the Canadiens. Move on to play the New York Rangers in round number 2. We ended up dominating the Montreal Canadiens in 5 games. We barely got out of round number 2 against Washington as we now face the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Thankfully, we also get by Toronto, and it will be the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals. How fitting. Game 6 on the road. We are leading 3-2, trying to win the Stanley Cup in Edmonton. It's now a 3-2 lead as Connor McDavid will pot one, but it became a 1-goal game. Finally, the New York Islanders get it done. Year after year after year of failing, we finally have brought together a hockey team that was good enough to be a Stanley Cup contender and a Stanley Cup champion. We had multiple guys. Our top 9 was loaded. I believe we only ended up adding 1 defenseman to this team as we go all the way, defeat the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games in the Stanley Cup Finals. Really, if you think about it, the only bad thing is we didn't win on home ice. Pasternak's going to be our Conn Smythe winner. He is our best player. 13 goals, 26 points, and a 96 overall. Definitely well-deserved as we now get to see Lord Stanley being brought out onto the ice for none other than the New York Islanders, the team that is probably the most boring to watch over the last decade in the NHL. Captain Andres Lee will come up to select the trophy, as the video may now end as the New York Islanders went all the way and they won the Stanley Cup. David Pastrnak was lights out throughout the entirety of the postseason. 13 goals, 26 points. Crosby at 25. Bo Horvat with 23. Mikko was very good also. Nathan MacKinnon's going to win the Lindsay. We got Matthews winning the Maurice Richard. Art Ross to Mitch Marner and the Hart Trophy. Morrissey will win the Norris. Pasta, obviously, the Conn Smythe. Anthony Stolars will win the Vezina. And Barkov the Selke. Well, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.